What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to bring you 40 facts on the Warhammer 40k universe. Now today, I believe the beta came out for Inquisitor Martyr, so because of that, I will be doing a 40 facts on the weapons and war gear of the warriors and the enforcers of the Imperium of Mankind, the Inquisition. Now, as we all know, the Inquisitors are regular humans that go out there and enforce the Emperor's will, for the most part, to other planets. They collect the tithes from planetary governors and whatnot. And the Inquisition is huge. It's split up into a bunch of different factions. For example, you got the Ordo Hereticus that goes out and hunts heretics, the Ordo Xenos that goes out and hunts, aliens, as well as other branches. But today, I'm going to be focusing on the weapons and war gear of these badass mofos. So without further ado, let us praise the Emperor as we bring deliverance to the enemies of mankind. So let's begin with the ranged weaponry of these guys, starting with the Condemner Boltgun. Condemner Boltgun is a highly sophisticated combi weapon used almost exclusively by the operatives of the Ordo Hereticus and the Sisters of Battle. It combines a bolt gun with a single-shot crossbow, and this archaic-seeming weapon fires a silver stake engraved with the sigils of disruption that tends to destabilize a psyker's connection with the warp. A direct hit from this crossbow will therefore not only deal a severe wound to the psyker, it will also send his power spiraling out of control to consume its user. Next up is the Conversion Beamer. Incredibly rare pre-heresy artifacts, conversion beamers fire projectiles that are usually bursts of energy that induce a controlled subatomic reaction in the target, converting its mass into energy. So the further away the target, the more deadly the blast becomes, as the beam has time to grow in penetrating power and explosive potential. The Hell Rifle. The Hell Rifle is a weapon much favored by radical inquisitors. This rifle closely resembles an antique firearm, but in reality it is a highly sophisticated weapon that employs an array of containment shielding and galvanic impellers to fire razor-sharp shards of demonic matter. The Hellstrike Missile. Hellstrike missiles combine a solid fuel core with an armor-piercing tip to punch straight through any enemy armor. The Needle Pistol. The Needle Pistol is a small and elegant weapon of clouded origins. It is relatively lightweight, and it fires a monomolecular dart imbued with the most potent of venoms, perfect for stealthy assassinations, but just as suitable for a close-quarter battlefield work. So subtle is the payload of the Needle Pistol that oftentimes the victim is dead on the floor before he has even noticed his wound. The Orbital Strike Relay. Now, it is rare for the Inquisition to fight without some form of orbital support. To ensure accurate orbital barrages, Inquisitors often carry an orbital strike relay to provide the fleet vessels with targeting data. The Psi Cannon. Psi Cannons are extremely rare weapons and found only in the hands of those who possess sufficient strength of will to activate their psychically charged payloads. Oftentimes, the warriors of the Grey Knight wield these cannons. And now we move on to the close combat weapons, beginning with the Servo Arm. Servitors are equipped with most powerful servo arms that can be used for battlefield repairs or even to be put as weapons. Now, Inquisitors are oftentimes seen on the battlefield, so any devastating loss of limbs can be replaced by using a servo arm. The Scythian Venom Talon. The Scythians are a race of warrior monks dedicated to a particular form of armed martial arts. The dagger-like Venom Talon is one of the more basic weapons that they use, able to incapacitate a foe with the slightest scratch. Quite how the Inquisition have come to acquire such a weapon is perhaps best left to the imagination. The Null Rod. This obsidian rod perpetually crackles with psi-null energy, negating the warp-spawn powers of psykers. Even a glancing blow from such a weapon can provoke a cataclysmic neuron failure in a sorcerer or a mystic. At the end of each battle, the null rod must be drained of the energy it has absorbed, lest its captured power open a warp rift. The Nemesis Demon Hammer. Developed by the Ordo Malleus as the final word in a demonic destruction, this demon hammer combines the crushing impact of a more traditional thunder hammer with the magic of oblivion. Only few can survive the impact of one of these weapons. Once again, this weapon can oftentimes be seen carried by the warriors of the Grey Knights. The Demon Blade. The ultimate embodiment of a radical Inquisitor's creed of using the enemy's weapons against them, a demon blade contains the bound essence of a single greater demon or a whole host of lesser demons within it. While the wards and binding placed on a demon blade render it less destructive than the demon weapons borne by the servants of chaos, they are a necessity to stop the wielder from being driven insane by the dark voices in his mind. No two demon blades are the same in form, power, and substance, and some are so unique as to have been forged by their own black reputations. The Arco Flails. An arco-flagellant's arms are oftentimes replaced with bionic whips, blades, or even devastating flails for more close combat destructibility. Digital Weapons. Digital weapons are concealed lasers fitted into fingers and rings, bionic implants, or the knuckles of a glove. However, they do lack range, but they can be used in melee to take advantage of an enemy's exposed weaknesses. The Storm Shield. A storm shield is a large, solid shield that has an energy field generator built into it. Though the bulk of the shield offers physical protection, the energy field is capable of deflecting even the most powerful attacks. And now on to other more obscure weapons and war gear of the Inquisitors, beginning with the defensive orbs. So a Jacaro weaponsmith's backpack is actually a control and fabricator array for a cloud of energy reflective orbs that swarm about the Jacaro, and they oftentimes move to intercept incoming fire. The Empyrean Brain Mines. Empyrean brain mines are based on captured Ghost World technology. When triggered, they latch onto the victim and send a pulse of energy directly into his brain, momentarily stilling his motor functions and leaving him unable to move. The effect is only temporary, as the brain mines are prone to burning out after a few seconds, but it oftentimes leaves an enemy incredibly vulnerable. Psi-Bolt Ammunition. Psi-Bolts are silver-tipped psychically charged shells used in storm bolters and other similar weapons. The Psychotrope Grenades. Psychotrope grenades explode in a cloud of sweet-smelling nerve gas that induces violent and often debilitating visions in the enemy. It is incredibly psychoreactive, and its mere proximity is enough to trigger its effects, rendering even sealed armor useless. Psych-Out Grenades. Psych-Out grenades are produced by using an extremely rare substance thought to be a byproduct of the exoteric process that sustains the Astronomicon. Upon detonation, each grenade scatters a dense cloud of psi-reflective particles across the target area. Psychers and warp entities caught in the blast zone are often momentarily stunned, leaving them wide open to a counterattack. The Psyoculum. The Psyoculum is a visor which contains an arcane assembly of mystically treated lenses, image-enhancing circuitry, and low-light amplifiers. It allows the bearer to track psychers by their own psychic emanations, rather by vision alone. It is indeed an invaluable tool for hunting down rogue psychers. The Servo Skulls. Servo Skulls are a sensor array platform fashioned from the hollowed-out crania of Imperial servants, and they are often given motive force by a small anti-grav generator. Although completely bereft of weaponry, Servo Skulls are nonetheless essential tools for many Inquisitors. Kept invisible by sensor stealthing, they can be seated across an area before battle begins, there to relay a continual stream of sensor information back to their masters. The Ulumethi Plasma Siphon. This particular array of alien crystals creates a distorting resonance on the frequencies used by plasma weaponry, causing such guns to fire much more wildly, making it almost impossible to keep them on target. True Silver Armor. Strands of sanctified silver and iron have been embedded into this armor, rendering it poisonous to the touch of demons and psychers alike. Psi-flame ammunition. With little effort, flamer weapons can be modified to use the same psychically charged promethium as an incinerator. And now we dive into the relics, beginning with the Liber Heresias. First laid down during the Age of Apostasy, this tome has grown to contain the wisdom of thousands of Ordo Hereticus Inquisitors. By properly interrogating its pages, the reader can glean sufficient wisdom to predict and counter the strategies of renegades and traitors before their ruinous schemes come to fruition. Over the course of centuries, the Liber Heresias has become incredibly unwieldy, as each new wielder scribbles his own notes into its broad margins. The Grimoire of True Names. He who knows a demon's true name wields her terrible power over the beast, for it is the one variety that Warpspawn cannot deny. Accordingly, grimoires of true names are highly sought after by demon hunters, regardless of whether they intend to obliterate the demon or bend it to their will. Alas, most are copies, with their information incomplete or subtly altered in such a way to put the reader at risk of damnation. Only one, the Malefact Malorium, contains a complete and unswerving record of all the Dark God's demonic servants. As such, it is highly sought after, and often fought over. And lastly, we have the Tome of Veteran. First inscribed by the famed Ordo Xenos Inquisitor, Mactavius Vethric, this book has ever since served as a record of alien perfidy and nuance. In the millennia since Vethric's death, this tome's contents had been annotated and expanded to the point that it now stands as the Imperium's most complete treatise on Xenos strategy, and it contains a wealth of countermeasures for even the most innocuous of alien ploys. The only challenge lies in deciphering Vethric's almost ineligible scrawl. And there you have it, guys. That was the Wargear, relics, and firearms of the Inquisitors. Now obviously they do have a little bit more weaponry, but a lot of that is crossover from like Space Marine weapons such as like bolters and whatnot, as well as weapons that the Astra Militarum, or Militarum that is, use in combat. So those weapons will be getting their own video and whatnot, so I was just focusing on the Inquisitor section of it. Again guys, the Inquisitor Martyr is coming out pretty soon, if it didn't already come out by the time of this filming. So that looks really promising game, that you guys can basically be an Inquisitor and go out there and purge the heretic, burn the mutant and whatnot. So yeah, it looks good. Now let me know what other things you guys want us to cover. I know Inquisitors are a big request we get from you guys, so we'll dive into more of that. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys today. As always, I'm the Sound Alchemist, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.